Hello, my name is Lacey Farmer, and today I will be teaching students how to solve word problems with whole numbers using a set model and a linear model. We will first solve a join problem type using a set model. Next, we will solve a part-part whole problem type using a linear model. Some problems that children face have to do with the equal sign because they were taught to add or subtract with calculators. And when you put numbers into a calculator, you do 3 plus 4 and you hit the equal sign and it gives you the total number. So children always think that the equal sign means the number is coming up. But in these questions today, we'll have the total number, but we will be looking for either the start of the problem or the finish. It's not always going to be the total number that you're looking for in the problem. So today we're going to be solving a two-step word problem using the linear model. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to read through our question and do it piece by piece. So it first says, Craig wants to buy a bike that costs $165. So we know that Craig needs a total amount of $165. And he has already saved $117. So he has $117. So we know that we can subtract because we already have this amount, but we need this much more to buy a bike. So we can go to our linear model and we can write in what we already know. So we have the start. We know he wants to get $165. So that would be our total amount, $165. And then we know the change because he already has $117. So we can change 165 minus 17. So we'd go down here and do 165 minus 117. So we would have to borrow from the tens place and make the 60 a 50. And so then we would add 10 over here to the ones place. And so that makes it 15. Do 15 minus 7, and that gives us 8 in the ones place. And then 5 minus 1 is 4. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So we know that Craig still needs $48. So now we have to go back to our question so we can figure out how much more money that Craig needs to get. So the next part of our question says he earns $12 an hour. So we can put $12 and then H for hour. So he earns $12 each hour lifeguarding and saves all of it for the bike. So how many more hours does Craig need to lifeguard in order to have enough money to buy the bike? So now we know he only needs $48 more left. So now we could switch over to a compare problem, and we have the larger quantity. And the larger quantity is going to be the 165 because that's the total number. So 165. And then we have the smaller quantity, which was 117 because that's how much money he already has. So 117. And then the difference of the two quantities. And we know the difference is $12 an hour because we don't know how many hours that Craig is going to have to work to make that $48. So we have 12H. So now we can set it up and it says large equals the smaller quantity plus the difference. So we have the large quantity, which is 165, equals the smaller quantity, which is 117, and then plus $12 an hour. So we would have to solve it algebraically, and we know that what we do to one side, we have to do to the other, so then we could add 117 to this side to get rid of it on this. And then we would do the same thing that we already did over here. And you would borrow 10 from this side, which would make that 5, and this 15. 15 minus 7 is 8. 5 minus 1 is 4. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So we have 48 equals $12 an hour. So then once again, what you do to one side to get to the other. You would have to divide 12 from the $12 an hour so that we end up with just H, the number of hours that we need to know he needs to work to get the $48. So you would also do 48 divided by 12. So you can rewrite it if it helps you. 12 divided by 48. So using common multiples, we know that 48 divided by 12 is going to give us 4. So we know that Craig's going to have to work 4 hours. So today we're going to be solving a multi-step word problem using a set model. So first we're going to read through our sentence and see what we need to know that we need to do. So it says, Vince started collecting lunch boxes when he was 5 years old. He had 19 outer space lunch boxes and 26 rock band lunch boxes. Then Vincent's cousin started her own lunchbox collection. Vince wanted to help her get started, so he gave his cousin 11 lunch boxes from his collection. How many boxes did Vince have left in his collection? So we know he starts out with 19 and 26 rock band lunch boxes. So we know we need to figure out how many Vince has altogether. So we have the start, which is 19. So we have 10 to start with. And then we have to add 9 little unit cubes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so that's our start because we have 19. And then now we know he has 26 rock band lunch boxes. So we can take our rods and do 26, 10, 20, and then our units, we need 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 26. So now we know that the start plus the change gives us our result. So we can add all of these together to get our result. So we have 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. And so we have 10 little unit cubes right here. So we can regroup our unit cubes and take a rod to replace them with. And so we put a rod there because we regrouped. And then we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unit cubes left over. So that's 10, 20, 30, 45 lunch boxes. So our result is 45. So now we can go back because we know the total number of lunch boxes that Vincent had is 45. But we also know that he gave away 11 of his lunch boxes. So now we would have to switch to a separate problem because we have to figure out how many he has left after he gives his cousin 11 boxes. So now that we know that Vince starts out with 45. So once again, we'd get our rod cubes and do 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 5 little unit cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get 45 for the start. And then now we know the change because he gives away 11 lunch boxes. So we need 1 rod for 10 and then 1 unit cube for 11. And that gives us our change. So we're looking for the result in this problem. So you would do the start minus the change. So we can take away 11 from our start. So we can take away 1 unit cube or 1 broad cube, sorry, and then 1 unit cube from both spots. And that leaves us with 10, 20, 30, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 is our result. So 34 lunch boxes would be how many Vincent had left after he had given some of his lunch boxes to his cousin.